I don't know what I was thinking with this sculpture. Everything went wrong. It got burned. I finished my clay and I wasn't sure what to do. The design just, I didn't have idea. So I don't know what I was thinking. But if you want to know more about my mistakes, keep watching. So let's talk about the materials. It's just aluminum foil. I'm going to use this aluminum wire with another thinner wire. This is going to help me just to put everything together. And also I'm going to use polymer clay. I like to use the Super Sculpey. This is Beige. All these and all the tools that I'm using are always in the description. So if you want to be part of this community, subscribe. Check my links. They are affiliate links, but they're there if you want to use them. Let's start with the piece. So first thing that I needed to do is to think how I'm going to do it. The reality is that I wanted to do this amazing fountain that you see online where you put the incense, the smoke goes down, goes around the shape, and it just look amazing. And I wanted to do something like that, but I don't really have time or budget. The only time that I had, I went to this store that was close by that they had supposedly everything, that they sell things for meditation and things like that. And I was hoping to find this incense that has I don't know how you call it, but it looks like an arrowhead. It's like a cone, and you put it on top of something and the smoke will come from the bottom and you will have an amazing piece. I wanted to do that, but they didn't have anything. The only thing they had is these huge sticks. Just look how big it is. I just wanted to share this. So I had to change my design to be holding this. And I've seen so many, they're pretty cool, I won't deny it, that they just hold the stick, but I didn't want to do that. So what I did is to plan how I'm going to do it. Now I have to create two pieces to be able to remove my my first piece that was going to be the head of my cobra. So I never have done, no, even if I've done many sculptures, I never done a sculpture that has to be put together or that is hollow. So I didn't have idea, and I started creating the armature. I grabbed my wire and I just tried to fold it, tried to think how I was going to create the space in the middle, but also to have enough material to put clay around it. So I started trying to go and think about it. Now I was just creating it slowly, trying to think how it's going to be the shape. So I decided just to start putting my aluminum foil really slowly, trying to think. I was gonna leave like really big pieces of the wire out. That's what is gonna connect to my other piece. I left a little bit, but I know I wanted to really leave a lot of that, and I didn't, and I regret that. But over here I'm just using a chopstick just to try to guide me and try to put this wire that is gonna be like the bone of the top and bottom to create this hollow piece. But the reality, I'm being really complicating myself. I don't even know why I did this. It was fun though, but still it took me forever, and you don't need to do that. The easiest thing to do is just to grab aluminum foil, make sure that it really a cylinder compacted, and I could have either put just the clay on top, bake it, and then remove the aluminum foil, or I could have just with the aluminum foil inside just create a whole puncture with something, and it would have been okay. Trying to put the clay, but I'm right away realizing, and I don't know why I didn't thought about it before, but it just doesn't have enough support for the clay. So I have to go back to put more wires, to put more clay, to make sure that I have that support. That for sure was a setback. It took me forever. Like I said, it was fun, not just to think where the wire will be, where the aluminum foil will be, and interesting process. But when I'm done, I'm just trying to create a shape, try to think where is the head. I just cut more wires and I created this kind of a shape. It looked like maybe an elephant. Remember, when you're doing a sculpture, the first thing that you want to do is just create the shape, create the silhouette, that you can put everything dark, and even if it is like the shadow of this piece, you will think that maybe it will be a cobra. Of course, thinking and seeing my piece, I was thinking, why are you watching this video? It doesn't look like a cobra. I mean, I'm really thankful, and more if you subscribe, but and thank you for those who have subscribed. But the reality doesn't look nothing. I don't know really what I was doing. But most of my pieces start like this, and then they sometimes look a little bit more decent than this. So basically, like I said, just trying to give the shape. Right now I'm not using any tools. One of the issues is that I was thinking just about the smoke. how can I make it better. Actually, I wanted to try to go from the side of the piece and everything, but I know that this kind of incense wasn't gonna really do that. I don't really have a lot of choice, so let's see what will happen. I just kept going. It was a moment that I saw more like a face, like a skull, and some people will probably love that. For me, I was like, okay, I'm kind of the wrong way because it shouldn't look like this. Like I said, I was trying to think about the smoke, and I was thinking about the nose, and the reality is a lot of reptile, the nose is not really like a dog. It's not really in the front. Most of them, they're on the side. For sure, I knew that I had to fix that. I was trying to hope that I wasn't going to fill the hole. I create the eye, just a simple one, just a guide. Sometimes starting putting details is just to know, okay, I think the eye can be here. I think the nose can be really defining the shape. And over here I wanted to do something in the mouth. I know I wanted to put some fangs. I know I wanted to put tongue. And the reality is that I was afraid how to put it without blocking the hollow space on the throat. And I wanted to make sure that it was really, really thin, really flat. But there's the way I did it. It's completely glued to the mouth, but it doesn't even go all the way to the back. And I was just putting some details. I know that it was too straight. It's because, of course, the shape of the incense. I wanted to fake that it was moving a little bit to give a little bit of movement to the sculpture. So I just on the chest I put more aluminum foil. The ideal will be to remove all the clay and just put it over like that. You don't waste clay. But over here I just put more aluminum foil and put more clay on top. Right now I can see that I don't have a lot of clay, so I'm trying to use all the beige clay in this piece in the head, trying to see if I need something. I rather want this part of the piece to have this type of clay. And what I'm talking about is I'm going to show you in a moment, but I'm going to create the body now, and I'm just going to roll some aluminum foil. I know I didn't have a lot of aluminum foil. I know that I didn't have a lot of wire or clay. So right away in my head I was like, okay, you gonna have a small body for this huge head. I don't even know how to put the shape of the piece to make sure that I will hold this face. No, this is the first time ever I do something like this. So, and I did a small snake, but it wasn't really nothing like this. So for sure it was an interesting experience. So I was just trying to think about just the shape. And after, when I was almost ready to have it, of course I have my cat being curious and trying to not to let me work. I have another cat that I close the door when I'm working, but she used to be playing with my tools or being on top, just in the middle of my work area. So now that I have my shape, I have this wire that is the one that the thickest that I have, and I try to know, even if it is aluminum and it moves really easy, I just start putting it in. I grab a thin one and just double it to try to make sure that is as strong as possible. I have to say that since the beginning, when I was a beginner years ago and I started doing sculptures, I use hangers. And hangers are metals that are really strong and they're really good. Those ones would have been perfect for the head to be able to hold my piece. At the end of the head, when I was finishing it, I realized that I covered too much of these wires that were sticking out. So that was a problem. But if it would have been like a hanger, I would have not really have to worry about it. The hanger also would have given me the shape of the body because it's stronger, so I could have done whatever I wanted without really being scared of not holding that head. And I was creating my piece. I was trying to make sure that I had a really good thick base to hold my face. I even put extra wires there. And my super Sculpey clay, this was just a bar, just one of those packages that I showed at the beginning. Completely the full one got used for this sculpture. Sometimes I can create two out of one, sometimes just one for a whole, depending how big it is your sculpture. But over here I run out completely, so I have to use another one that is this clay terracotta. But this one is like the really basic. It's not cheap at all, but cheaper than the beige or the gray Sculpey. But this one that is also super Sculpey is not the best for really good details. And if you have it, I will say don't use it for the face. If you can, just use it for the body. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. And if you have that question that if you can make any polymer clay, yes, you can have 100 different type of polymer clay, different colors. And you can either use your pasta machine, like a lot of people of us we do. Sometimes I do it, that I grab piece of the gray Super Sculpey and the original beige, and I kind of put them together with my pasta machine, and they will fuse. The gray will be the final color, but they really good for details. Sometimes I don't like my Ninja Turtle, that I just have the gray sculpted in the original. But the reality is that the only thing you have to worry about it is if the polymer clay that you're using have different temperatures, because that's something that can change a little bit. I will suggest just to go to the one that is the highest and do that one for all of them, even if other ones are already on a different temperature. Also, you can lower your temperature and just leave it on a longer period, or you can there's many techniques, but you have questions, ask me below, and I will be happy to answer. But over here I'm just trying to put all this clay. The problem, and also is because I have my lights, and over here just generates so much heat that is melting. No, and that's happened to me with any other clay, but with this one it's kind of hard to create details. It's kind of hard to press and try to have a uniform form when I'm putting the clay, but it's not impossible. I also grabbed these fangs. The only thing that I did is I grabbed some of my polymer clay and I rolled them, I baked them, and then I can just stick them into the mouth really easy. That's the easiest thing that you can do, creating teeth or fangs or even eyes. No, you can bake it before and then put it when your clay is soft, and it will save you a lot of time and it will just look sometime better. I decided just to put it through my pasta machine and have these layers. They're just easy to apply, and that's why I did it. Put some on the body. I started trying to create these kind of chunks all around the body, and the reason I wanted to create an amazing, well, in my imagination, an amazing detail. Like if I would have had more clay, I would have created every single scale and it would have looked really amazing. But I didn't have clay, so I just put kind of big chunks. Try, at least in my mind I was thinking, make the body a little bit thicker and try to make it stronger so it holds the head. I didn't like it at the end how it turned out, but that's the reason I did it. And like you can see, I'm just working from the body to the face, from the body to the face. Also, it will allow you to check for mistakes. No, over here I can tell you 1,000 mistakes from the shape of the nose, just the whole body itself. So now I completely have my piece. Now it's time to bake everything. One of the issues is how you're gonna bake it. The two pieces, how are you going to make them stay together and not glue themselves? No, if you put clay, even if you don't really squish it together, if you put the clay on top of the other and you bake it, they will fuse. Probably not a little bit, maybe you can separate them, but I didn't want to do that. So what I did is just I put a piece of aluminum foil in between the pieces. I put my head, it was holding completely, it was completely seamless, everything was looking amazing, and I just left it there. Normally, I check every 5 minutes to make sure that the piece is okay, and I didn't this time. I mean, it's not an excuse, it's my fault. My two cats were asking me for food, and I was just distracted for a few minutes. It got burned. But before I show you that, I wanna give you some tips when you're baking your piece. The way I did it is I bake it inside my conventional oven, so it's a regular kitchen oven, where I had to remove all the metal racks and just take them off, and I have just to leave the really last one. And I was kind of afraid because it was really close to the bottom, and I know that when you put your piece, you don't really want it to be close to the bottom or the top. No, and I had to do this because it was really tall, my piece, and I didn't want to touch the top. If your piece is really close from the top, you will have so much heat that it will burn your piece, and it will be completely burned. So the perfect thing is that you put your piece and it's in the middle of your oven and nothing is around it. No, that would be the perfect scenario. But over here I had to put it all the way at the bottom. I knew that probably the bottom was going to be burned, but I didn't worry about much because it's the bottom, no one will see it, and I was going to paint it anyway. So I just left it like that. And one of the things that I haven't seen people talking about is when you put your polymer clay inside an oven and it's baking, it is so hot that before it becomes really solid, it kind of becomes soft, so it can move a little bit. So it has happened sometimes that I have a piece that maybe is completely straight, and then it becomes it bends a little bit and now it's not straight anymore. And pretty much that's what happened over here. I have the face and it just tilted a little bit, and I can see it on the side because it was a tiny shift of weight. The top part completely went down, and that side of the face touched the metal grid of the oven, and it was burning. It pushed the head a little bit, but and it burned a little bit of the belly. This is what it is. I'm going to show it to you, and you can see how the body, of course, it didn't move, so it was intact, but the other part, it got burned. And you have a lot of details. You have a lot of work that I already put into this piece. It's a little bit painful to see this happen. Normally I will put maybe supports, no, even if it is just rolls of aluminum foil to kind of hold it together, you can do that. But the important thing is that I kind of fix it more because it's going to be painted, so no one is going to know that it was burned. So I'm going to use this Dremel. It's really tiny. I really like it. It was really cheap. I'm going to put it in the description. Remember, all the materials, everything is always in the description. There are affiliate links, but they're there just in case you want to use it. And basically I tried to fix, I tried to give it like a more organic and nice shape to get rid of all the pieces that kind of were falling apart. Or after going slowly with my Dreamer, I was able to fix it, and it's time just to paint just one color the whole body. One of the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to try to do like a more rock style, but I don't know where's my gray paint. After my layer of black, that I just want to remind you that it's just simple acrylic paint. They're water-based, do it with a gold paint that I had. It wasn't really my first intention, but one of the things when I'm trying to paint and I'm trying to finish this piece is I don't even know if it's gonna work. I mean, I know that that I can put the head on top. And just one tip that I want to tell you is that if you're making something this big, you have to be careful. Polymer clay is not really good with you're trying to create really big pieces. The best thing is to create really small ones like jewelry. Those are hard. They're not really going to break that easy. But a piece really big, the bigger it is, the easier it's going to break. So just something to have in mind. I would suggest if you're doing something big to really just go for Cosclay. It's a clay that is more durable in question that it can bend a little bit, and it breaks less. So just something to have in mind, the material that you're using. And I'm completely over here done. What do you think? Even the head looks more like the Jafar stuff. I don't know, but for sure you can see that it kind of push. I don't like the face much. So now let's see the final result. Let's see if really I can light this incense, and we have some smokes. So let's do it. Let's gonna put it in. I'm gonna light it up. What do you think? It is working? It is not working? Yes, it's working. I wasn't sure completely. I was this is gonna be a fail, but even if everything that happened, like I said, I wish I would have done the body just way better. But at the end, I like the result. This could be, if your dad liked incense or just cobras, maybe it could be a really good gift. Subscribe, comment below, and the most important thing, enjoy art. Do your creation. Send me an email if you have created something using this or being inspired by this video, and I would love to share it to the world here in my channel. So see you next time.